All right, for this video, I'm just going to go over some basics of the tools of Illustrator and some of the things that you can do with it. I know I've already gone over the Pathfinder tool and the Shape Builder tool, the Selection tool, and the Direct Select tool. We are now going to move on to how to find this toolbar if you can't find it. It's under Windows, Tools, I'm sorry, there it is, Tools, and I have it on Advanced. And if you want to have a new toolbar, create a new one, or manage your toolbars and change them. If you click Basic, it's going to give you just a few of the tools there, but I like to have all of them. So I go to Advanced so that I can have more of the tools available. You can also add things to your toolbar that you want to have on there. You can take things off of the toolbar. You can, different ways of showing the information on the toolbar. That is these three dots down here. So the first thing that we're going to go over is the hand tool. And the hand tool, you can come over here and click it. I think it's H, right? H. But you can also hit the space bar and you'll bring up the hand tool. And that can, you can move your artboard around any way you want that way. The next thing that we're going to go over is the zoom tool, which is also, if you click on this, you'll have the zoom tool. You can also press Z. I'll press Z and it'll bring up the zoom tool. Before I do that, I do want to make a shape so that you can see how this works with the zoom tool. So I'm going to grab the zoom tool again, and you can do it a couple of ways. You can click on it to make it come in closer. You can click on it, hold it down, it'll come closer. Or you can drag your mouse back and forth, and you can have more control over how big you want it to be. You can also press the Option key and hold down your mouse and it'll slowly zoom out. You can also hold down the Option key and do the same thing you did with the zoom in. You'll see that if I'm holding down the Option key and I pull up, or I hold down the Option key and pull down, it'll change to a plus, even though I'm holding the Option key down. You can also click on it as well. Option click to get out of it. To get the artboard back to the size, to fill the whole screen, you would click Command 0 and it'll come back to full screen. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to work on the artboards, and I'm going to show you how to add, change the size, rearrange the artboards. So this is the artboard tool. And there's this way to get to it too: create artboards or change the shape of an artboard. And then also over here, there is this artboard tool, which you can have control over rearranging them, naming them, and duplicating them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out a little bit so that you can see um, that I have several artboards. I'm going to use the hand tool to bring this to where I want it to be. And then I am going to go to the artboard tool and click on it. And I can either click and drag, and it will give me whatever shape I make it, like this. You can change the shapes up here, the width and the height here. You can also rearrange here because it's giving you the artboard tools that are similar to the ones on this one. You can also go to the properties menu and change the size. I want it to be 8.5 by 11, and then I can move this down. You can grab it, and this is the move tool. If I want to click on this one and make it 11 by 8.5, I can do that. I can also go up here and change it this way to 8.5 by 11. And it'll tell you what artboard you're on right here, the number that it is that you've created. It's the number of artboard that you have created. Next, I can go over and get my selection tool. That takes me out of the artboard. And I can then go over to the artboard tool on this side, and I can rearrange the artboards so that they are all in the row like I want them here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the hamburger menu, do rearrange, and I like them. You can go zigzag in order, up and down in order, all to the side, all down. I like mine all down, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to have a 0.5 inches in between because art has a tendency to hang off the side of the artboard. And when I hit OK, um, it'll put it in the order that I wanted it to be put in. Now, if you have art on the artboard and it is locked, it will not move with the art. As you can see in this menu, it says you want the move the artwork with the artboard. You can unclick that and it won't, but then it'll be hanging out in space. So if I unclick that and let's just say I change this to, let me try this way and see if that works. The artwork is not there. As you can see, it is up here. It didn't move with the artboard. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to put them back the way that I like them. And I'm going to say move with artboard, and there it's back to where I wanted it to be. The next thing that you can do is use the eyedropper tool, and I'm going to get my zoom tool, and I'm just going to just draw and hold down my magnifying glass to get to this shape. Hand tool to pull it down. I'm going to duplicate this by getting my selection tool, and I can press down the Option key and duplicate it. I can select both of them, Option key, duplicate, and then I want to change the colors of this so I can show you how to use the eyedropper tool. So I'm going to pull out my swatches panel and I'm going to click on one of these and change them to a different color. As you can see, it made the outline red and the fill black. I'm going to go over here to the left and switch those, just flip them. If I want this shape to be the same, I will go to my eyedropper tool, which is right here, and I'm going to, with this one selected down here on the left bottom, I'm going to use my eyedropper tool and suck up that color and stroke. And I can do the same thing by selecting another one. I'm going to go up to selection tool and then click on this one and do it again. And you can change it to any color you want. That's a pretty straightforward information on that one. One tool that I don't use a lot, which is the rotation tool, which is right here. I selected the shape, and I can rotate this from the center where that little blue circle with the lines coming out of it is. From that center, it'll rotate any direction. I can move this over here, and it'll rotate from that particular part of the shape. You can change where you want it to be rotating from just by moving this little dot. I don't use that a lot in particular. I'm doing selection tool, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, Command Z to go back. I don't use that a lot. It is a handy tool when you want to rotate it on a particular axis. I usually use these tools right here for that, and again, it does spin it from this center. The next thing I wanted to go over was the type tool, and the type tool is of course pretty basic. You just click on the T and you click on anywhere on the artboard and it'll give you Laura Ipsum, which is basically filler text. I'm going to get the selection tool and I can move this around anywhere I want, and I can, if I hold down the shift key, I can create a different size, zooming in and out or going larger and smaller. You have to hold down the shift key. If you don't, it will stretch, and you do not want to do that. Another thing that you can do is type on a path. This is the only other one that I use on a regular basis. And you must click on a non-compound, non-mask path to create text. So I'm going to create a path. And as you can see, it has, I'm going to hit escape to get out of here, and V. So I don't have the pen tool anymore. That's the pen tool. It has a fill instead of a stroke. I want a stroke. So I'm going to take the path tool, type path on the path tool, and I just click on there on any part of the path, and it will put the text on there. Those are the two that I use the most for type and type on a path, type tool and type on a path. You can also change how this is manipulated. Just let's say I have a shift in and out to create a larger piece of text or a larger font. This will also change how you're able to manipulate the box that the text is in. You can bring it down, you can make it smaller. So this works if you say you have a font that has like a very large overhang and you have something like this and you want to center it with something else, it'll center it to the box, not to the text. So you can go in and click on this dot and you can change the size of this box until the point where it is no longer visible. So then it will align the way you would like it to. Instead of align to the box, it will align to the text that the line it's sitting on. That is a good thing to know when you're trying to align text or trying to align it vertically, horizontally, left, right, whatever it is. If you have too much information around these boxes, it will align incorrectly. The next thing I wanted to go over, which I just showed you, which was the pen tool and the line segment tool. The line segment tool is basically just a line you can make. And as you can see, there's no fill, no stroke on these. So I can go in and do a stroke on them and you'll see a black line. You can change the width of that line with the stroke. You can also change how this line, how long it is by this tool right here. There's several tools under here that you can use. I do not use them usually. They're not something that I use on a regular basis, but you can use them. And you can also use the width tool, which will change how wide certain parts of the line are. That is a good thing to have when you want to create certain shapes with a line segment. So the next thing I'm going to go over here where I have some more room is the pen tool. And the pen tool is basically you can create shapes with just angles, or you can create shapes with pulling, clicking and pulling with the pen tool and making a shape this way. I would just suggest you learn this. This will be your friend and you can make all kinds of very interesting things. It is a bit of a complicated tool that you will have to get used to using, and there are certain different types of pen tool points, either taking away, adding, changing the type of converting the points to handles, converting like this one does not have handles. I'm going to go escape V so I can just select it. This one does not have handles. This one does have handles and points. When you're in the selection tool, you cannot see those points, but if you go to the direct select tool, you can see the points on both of these. This one does not have handles and you cannot change it, but you can click on one of the points and you can change it to have handles if you like. Again, a complicated type of tool, but you will really like it once you start learning how to use it. It is very valuable information. And when you go into your digital image traces, you're going to want to learn how to use these so that you can change the shapes that you have there or get rid of certain points that you don't want in there once it's image traced. So this tool right here is very important to have. And the way that you can pull out a tool and have it on your toolbar is this little um, arrow right there, and you can pull it out and have it there and choose whatever you want very quickly. Like I can delete that. I can add a point here and change it the way I want to. I can hit Escape V and get the direct select tool and move these lines around like this. Or I can choose this tool and hit Command and click, and I can change it that way as well. I can pull these and change them. It is a very good tool to learn. I suggest that you take some time and start learning these tools because you will need them quite a bit in the future, and I will be doing another video on how to use all these tools in the future.